What's the definition of insanity?
Waking me up at 3 a.m? Just a little bit insane.
Let me just make this clear from the start, because it doesn't seem like you're really on the same page as me. When I want you to speak, I'll ask you to speak. So it'll be like, oh hey, here's a question, answer this question. Otherwise, this is me setting it up for myself, okay? Like an alley-oop to myself, not an alley-oop to you, because you can't get off the floor, okay?
I mean, that's a little bit harsh, but sure.
As I was saying, what's the definition of insanity? I mean, well, Albert Einstein said it himself. Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So then let's explain this. 2015-16, 44 wins, 38 losses, second round exit. 2016-17, 41 wins, 41 losses. First round exit, a first round sweep to the Golden State Warriors. 2017-18, 49 wins, 33 losses. First round sweep to the New Orleans Pelicans. 2018-19, 53 wins, 29 losses. They lost in the conference finals to the Golden State Warriors, yet again with a sweep. 2019-20, 35 wins, 39 losses. Lost in the first round to the Lakers. They managed one game. And then 2020-21, lost in the first round to the Denver Nuggets after winning 42 games and losing 30 in the regular season. Do you see a little bit of a trend here?
I mean, it kind of looks like
First round, second round, no round, losing. That's the kind of trend that I'm seeing right here. The Portland Trailblazers have been trending in the absolute same direction, no matter who they trade for. If they want Robert Covington, if they want Norman Powell, if they want Gary Trent Jr., if they want Carmelo Anthony, if they want Al-Farouq Aminu, if they want Evan Turner, Enes Kanter. It really doesn't matter at this point in time, and they're going to have to make a decision. They're going to have to change something up at some point in time, because that is insanity.
Portland have been stuck in a little bit of a difficult situation for quite some time now. They've been in a situation where it's pretty comfortable. You know, they sell out arenas. Damian Lillard is a superstar. They get jersey sales. They're going to bring in revenue. They've got all of these things. They're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be competitive. They're going to be good. But at the same time, whenever it seems like, oh, maybe this is the year where Portland take that next step, maybe this is the year where they win something more than just a first-round series, unfortunately, every single time they get a very, very strong reality check, whether it was this year against a Nuggets team without Jamal Murray, or whether it was against the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals without Kevin Durant, or whether it was against, it doesn't matter, the Lakers the year before. These are all good teams, don't get me wrong, but at the same time, if you want to be more than just an okay team, then you've got to beat these teams, or at least make it seem like you can come close to beating them. And unfortunately, against the Warriors and against the Lakers, they just didn't do that at all. I know the way I worded that, or the way I said that, kind of seemed harsh against Portland. I don't have anything against this team, and I do understand sometimes certain organizations, or just a lot of organizations, if you've got someone like Damian Lillard, if you're in a small market and you recognize someone like that is going to continue to bring in ticket sales, jersey sales, all of these things, and you're going to continue to be good, and you can at least sell the allure of you maybe taking that next step, I understand that you don't always have to blow it up. You don't always want to rebuild. You don't always want to do these things, because another Damian Lillard isn't going to walk through the door, and another one that wants to stay regardless of things that have gone wrong, in particular, probably isn't going to walk through the door. So I do understand that. But at the same time, like, Dame has got to the point where you can see that he's frustrated. At least reports have come out. It was from Chris Haynes, who I'm pretty sure, like, they've got a texting relationship. If Dame texts Chris Haynes, that's a report that you can trust. So Chris Haynes, I'm pretty sure, said Dame wants another star on his team, or he's going to leave. Or there has been rumors that he is now getting to the point where this seems like the breaking point this year. I know, we've said that for like 5 years, it seems like. It seems like every single year, Dame is going to win or he's going to leave, but every single time he stays another year. But it finally seems like this could be the breaking point. He saw what happened. His team lost to Denver, despite him putting up all-time numbers, despite them not having Jamal Murray. And then he saw Denver get swept by the Phoenix Suns, and he subsequently tweeted about that. I know that's not a major thing, but at the same time, if you're a player and you see that, you're like, how far away are we really? How far away are we really? Are we actually even a chance at competing over the next couple of years? And he's thought about it. So realistically, I think it's the time for them to finally try and make a big move outside of obviously trading Damian Lillard. And I'm going to talk about that big move, but first I want to talk about who I would keep. Let's start with Robert Covington. I think he is someone, when you look at Damian Lillard and you look at the team you're trying to build around him, because right now, as I see it, It's Dame. I don't care who else is on the team. It is Damian Lillard, and you're building a team around him. Not Dame and CJ, not Dame, CJ, and Nurkic. None of these things. Damian Lillard, and you build the team around him. And I see Robert Covington as someone who shot 42% in the second half of the season. He started to find his three-point range. In the Denver series, he provided some offense. But defensively is where he shines, and defensively is where they need him, because they're a terrible defensive team. They have been this year in particular. They got better as Nurkic came back. We'll talk about Nurkic in a little bit, but Robert Covington in general, great help defender. He's the kind of guy you can see in a final series. He's the kind of guy, look at a PJ Tucker, look at a Jay Crowder, look at a Mikal Bridges. All of these guys are playing significant minutes in a final series because it's just invaluable what he can bring as a help defender, someone who can space the floor, provide some kind of offense. Everything he does just screams being a finals player, being a playoffs performer, being that kind of guy. You want to keep him. You gave up assets to get him. You're going to try to keep him, and he fits the team as well. So that's important, but he's not the stopper. You need a stopper. But first, let's talk about Nurkic as well, another guy I would keep. Injuries have been an issue. If Nurkic had stayed healthy pretty much his whole career, I think we'd be talking about him in a different light. I think he could have made an all-star appearance. I think he could have been a really good two-way player that is nimble enough for his size and provides different things that a lot of guys don't have in terms of passing. Maybe he would have stretched the floor a little bit more. A lot of things could have happened if Nurkic stayed healthier, but right now, he's healthy-ish. He had a decent series against Denver. I know he got some criticism. He was guarding Jokic one-on-one a lot of the time. That's just... No one does that. That's not an easy thing to do. Jokic is an unbelievable player. And I actually thought in the possessions he was on Jokic, he did a decent job. I'm pretty sure the numbers back that up as well. I'm not looking at them right now, but I think the numbers back it up. Kendrick Perkins also said he's the worst big man defender in the league, which, if Kendrick Perkins says that, then I feel pretty confident in the fact that he's absolutely not the worst big man defender in the league, because Kendrick Perkins is as bad at analyzing basketball as he is at dribbling the ball. That's what I feel confident in him being wrong. So that's what I see. I see Nurkic as someone who can facilitate. He can set screens for Dame. When he's healthy, I don't think you're getting anyone better than him at the value you get him, if you know what I'm saying. Like, if you were to trade away Nurkic, you're not getting back someone that's going to be more valuable than Nurkic could be if he's healthy, because Nurkic's value is his health. I didn't really word that the best, but you get what I'm trying to say. A healthy Nurkic is better than anyone you would get in return in a trade package. When he was back in the team, the last 15 games of the season, they had an average defense. A lot of that came down to the fact Nurkic was looking healthier, and an average defense, I know I say that like it's a good thing. Yeah, it's a good thing, because they were 29th in the league, defensive rating wise, and then they were 18th the last 15 games of the season. So at least if they can be average and push that up a notch, and I think pushing it up a notch would be involving, let's reveal the secret, trade CJ McCollum. I think it just has to happen. CJ's a good player. Maybe you don't get back the same return for what you think he's valued at, but you just have to switch something up. This is not working. This is not working. How many times do we have to remind you? CJ McCollum, Damian Lillard backcourt just isn't really it. It just isn't it. Maybe it's just not ever going to work, but trade CJ. Like, what are you going to lose? You've seen every single possible scenario of what this backcourt could be, and none of them have come to a good result. So you've got to trade him. I would keep Norman Powell. I know. I think those guys are actually kind of similar players in terms of their level. I think Norman Powell, what he provides defensively, he can guard multiple positions, elite wingspan. He's done things and played in a good system defensively, which is important. You want as many of those guys as you can, and I think he's someone at the 2 who would be a good defender. He goes from, is he a little bit out of his depth at the 3, guarding different guys that he's probably not comfortable with, to going to the 2, and it's like, okay, versatility, he's got some defensive instincts, he's pretty decent there, and then offensively, in the playoffs, he averaged 17 points a game on close to 50, 40, 90, he averaged 20 points a game on elite efficiency in Toronto, and I think he was just gearing up. I think he was getting to his best in Toronto before he got traded to Portland, and then he had a couple of bad games. It was a slow start. I mean, he was coming to a completely different environment in Portland, playing alongside a backcourt that a very high usage rate, playing in a different position, in a different role, and he had to feel himself out and find how he could impact this team. And I think he did that towards the end of the season, and I think that's what you're going to get from Norman. 18 to 20 points a game on pretty good efficiency. He's going to shoot the 3 ball well, he's going to attack the rim, and defensively he just provides a lot more than CJ. And also CJ, you can trade him. You can package him up. If you need to package up an Anthony Simons, if anyone still wants to take a chance on a Zach Collins, Nasir Little, I'm sorry, but you just have to do it. You have to do it at this point, and you have to go for Ben Simmons. I know people might not want to hear this because it's the flavor of the month to really hate Ben Simmons. Don't get me wrong, he is a very flawed player, but at the same time, those flaws could maybe be overshadowed. Those strengths, more importantly, could be brought to light in Portland, because this is a situation where Ben, guard every single good player they have, just go out there and be an absolute defensive hound, regardless of what you think of his offense, regardless of what you think of him in general. Defensively, he is a special defender. He guarded Trae Young really well. He's guarded bigger guys. He's guarded smaller guys. It doesn't matter. You throw him out in front of anyone, and he does a pretty good job. So that is a huge thing to have. In terms of playmaking, I think you put him in a pick and roll with Damian Lillard. You see that gravity, that screening, setting a screen and rolling hard. I think that could work. I also think his issues were overblown. Last 3 games of the series, was he scared? Yes. Can he improve free throw shooting? I think so. I think he can improve his free throw shooting. He hasn't historically been that bad at the free throw line. It got in his head. Mentally, he just wasn't there. And I think that's the issue. But he got all of the blame. All of the blame for a team effort being bad and an Atlanta Hawks team being very good. A lot of things, and it just all fell on Ben Simmons, which might be a good chance for the Trailblazers to take advantage of that and get him at his lowest value. I think when you're looking at guys that could provide the biggest ceiling raiser for this team, it has to be Ben Simmons. In terms of everything he provides, he's someone that you can at least tempt Philly into taking. CJ McCollum does fit what Philly are trying to do, and then maybe you have to add in another couple of assets. I would do that. Sorry, that's just my take. If you disagree with that, you can let me know, but that's what I'd be doing. In terms of other guys you could get, I mean, there just really isn't anyone like Ben Simmons on the market. I thought maybe a Jonathan Isaac. It's a reach, don't get me wrong, but maybe a Jonathan Isaac defensively, elite like Ben Simmons, has been injured, so maybe Orlando don't trust him to get back to full health. Orlando have 2 top picks in this draft that'll probably be resulting in at least 1 wing and a Kuminga or someone like that. So maybe they'll think there'll just be too many wings and they could trade away Jonathan Isaac. CJ McCollum brings in some scoring. He's still got a few more years where he can build up the team. I know, it's a reach. Trust me, it's a reach. I know that. But you got to think of those kind of options because he'd be perfect as well. But Ben Simmons does seem like the ideal option. I don't want to be that guy, but he just seems like the ideal option. And that's the guy I'd be looking for. If you can get your hands on a Jonathan Isaac, by all means do that. Again, you see the mold. You need someone who can defend multiple positions. You need someone who's going to be your stopper because we've seen the ceiling with these guys. CJ McCollum and Damian Lillard, they're great players. They're great offensive players. Damian Lillard is an all-time great, but unless you get him some defensive help, or unless you get him Bam Adebayo or Anthony Davis at the 5 that can just erase every other issue on the court, it's not going to work. So you need to trade CJ, or I guess Norm, for a better defensive wing, but I think CJ makes more sense. Anyways, that's my thought on the Portland Trailblazers situation. Hopefully they make a move, because, we know what they are right now, and it's not good enough, so at least try something. Anyways, have a good day. Bye.